Hello everybody, welcome to my stream. I'm DC. You can find me across the internet under DC Lasair, that's DC Lasair. Exclamation mark DC in chat. Brings up my website where you can find the links to all the things I do. And follow me on Blue Sky, because it's fun there. So do the things. Also, affiliate links. I have some. Exclamation mark AF in chat. To call them up, first one's for Doris, a wonderful link in bio site. Check it out. And if you like what you see and you want to sign up for Doris Pro, use the discount code DCLasair to get 30% off for 3 whole months. Also, Fantasy Grounds. Fantasy Grounds is a virtual tabletop and has a reader app now in beta. Use that affiliate link when you make a purchase to support me. Yay! All right. So, other announcements. 1. I have a TTRPG vault that you can use in your campaigns. Keep track of all the information and all the information you give out to your players, all in one vault. For use with Obsidian, but since it's folders and the files are all marked down, you can open them in any text editor you want. So check it out. That link will take you to my GitHub, where you can download the zip file for absolutely free. And other announcement. Let's see. Let's pause the music a second. Where'd that go? There it is. Trying to remember where I put all the windows. The windows that are windowing. Oops, where'd it go? There you go. My producer panel will once again be at Gen Con. Just got the email today that's up in the catalog. So click that link, share that link. I also have a post on Blue Sky if you want to go share that around. But let people know if they're going to Gen Con, they can learn some stuff. Or maybe I can learn some stuff from them. One of those things will happen. It'll be a good time anyway. So let's see. Who said hi? JD Lady, hello. Rex, hello. Everybody wish JD Lady a happy birthday. As I understand, it's tomorrow. Hope you have a good birthday. And let's see. All right. Let me make sure I am streaming in all the places I should be streaming. There we go. Yeah, takes a minute for I check YouTube and it doesn't. To make sure it's live, I reload and that takes a moment. So, yay! Everything's all set there. Oh yeah, other thing, St. Jude, Art Team Cypher doing a St. Jude fundraising campaign, going through the rest of the month. Exclamation mark St. Jude in chat will bring up my link. So if you can donate, do the things. And that'd be fantastic. All right, let me double check everything is on and working. And that works. Links are all up. And thanks to y'all for coming on in this Friday. When we come back on Monday, we'll get back into Bravely Default. And Tuesday will be more Bravely Default. Wednesday, Craft Day. I finished making the sheets to the handy reference guide in paper. And so I have them printed out. And then we'll do another paper folding and gluing session, which should go a lot smoother this time, he says confidently. So yeah, it'll be fun. So we'll do this. Maybe we'll complete a book. And on this topic, I was also thinking, because once I get 5 pages, kind of all folded and glued together, we're going to kind of have this a little thicker spine thing, and you'll see separation. So I was wondering if I took some translucent vellum paper and like put glue on the spine, essentially. Took a piece of transparent vellum, wrapped it in that, cut the vellum out, and then had a nice like colored cover to the guide. And that way we also, you also don't see this and aren't going to pull at it and wreck all the spines, and everything falls apart on you. So might even reinforce that a little bit. But I have to get some vellum paper. So if I'm able to do that, we'll include that. But that's the idea. I have to figure out, the cutting dimensions and all that fun stuff. So that'll be craft day next week, Wednesday. Then Thursday, back to video gaming. And Friday will be yet another Tech Friday. All right. And make sure I got all the things I need around me. I do. I'm going to go over my notes real quick before we start. Okay. Take another drink. Come on, Cap, cooperate. Why does that look? Oh, okay. Sorry, as one of my monitors looked weird briefly, I figured out why. So, no problem there. Alrighty. Let's get into it. Welcome, everyone, to your favorite part of the week, yet another Tech Friday. Yay! Today's show, we'll be talking about the Android show. Apple updates all its OSs. Insta360 has a new retro bundle. Elgato is planning a sale. What's going on with Stream Elements? And you can buy your own mech. So let's dive on in. First up, the Android show. Earlier this week, Google had a bunch of announcements around Android. And because next week is their big developers conference called Google I/O. But they did a mini conference just announcing Android stuff. So, the big thing out of all this to talk about, and I'll post this link in chat. This article comes to us via Engadget. the big thing, the first thing to talk about is the Google Book. And you can see kind of what it'll look like here, what some of the interface looks like. There'll be a glow bar on the top, and it's designed with designed for Gemini intelligence, so it'll be loaded with Gemini. And we're going to talk about this for a minute. So the Google Book, which by the way is a horrible name, because there's the Google Books on the Android Play Store, and I think there's a search thing in Google to search for books also with a similar name. I don't know what they were thinking. And they'll have this little bar of light at the top of it on everything labeled a Google Book. So, you know, Dell, Asus, all those people, anyone making a Google Book they'll have this little bar of light, so you can show everyone that you have a Google Book by annoying them with a little bar of light on top of your machine. Also, it is built for Gemini intelligence, and packs an AI, and I'm not sure if they weren't paying attention to Microsoft and Copilot, and that Microsoft is backing away from all the Copilot integrations, or they think they'll just have it different. Don't know. But there's that, and one feature they're touting as, you know, cool new feature that personally I would find kind of annoying is that if you wiggle your mouse back and forth, the cursor will then have a little Gemini context window pop up. And so you can interact with Gemini in that way. You know how often I wiggle my cursor at things? That sounded dirty. But anyway, just idly, you know, moving cursor, and then Gemini pops up, and you're like, I don't need you right now. I do it all the time because I lose track of where it is, right? Like I have Power Toys on my Windows machine, and with that, there's an option I can hit Control twice, and it will highlight where my mouse is, which I love. And if you don't have something like that, then, you know, yeah, you're going to wiggle your mouse around, and then you're going to activate this little thing for Gemini. And then also another thing Gemini Intelligence will do is it will allow you to build little apps in it. So you can make a little reminder app or a special calendar app, you know, just by interacting with Gemini, typing in some stuff, and you have a little thing now on your desktop that's the clock you just made for some reason. When you have a perfectly good clock app, you can add things to. Also, the other thing is the Google Book will put together Chrome OS and Android. They've been behind the scenes internally. They've been calling it Aluminum OS or Aluminium, depending where you are in the world. OS. That might not be the name it launches with. So we don't know that. Not sure on pricing, but they're probably looking at that MacBook Neo market and seeing how successful that was. I'm sure they planned this out, you know, a year ago before they knew Apple had the Neo announcement. And then they're looking at the Neo announcement saying, oh, we got this thing coming out. Are we still in a competitive space with that thing? Are we still in competitive space with Neo? Because if you're looking to replace Chromebooks with this Google Book. And by the way, they're still going to be making Chromebooks. So absolutely no marketing confusion will happen there. And yeah, it's a new OS. It'll kind of be like the Android desktop OS that's available now, when you can, plug in your phone to a screen and have this sort of desktop experience using your Android phone. So current understanding is it'll be something like that, something like Chrome OS, except kind of put together. How it all actually works, there aren't any test units out or anything, so we don't know any of that. We don't know pricing yet. And it might be a capable machine. The hardware inside could be pretty good, could run all right. Not sure exactly what the internals are going to be yet either. And because there's going to be a bunch of different manufacturers of these Google Books, we'll probably have a lot of different hardware models to try to poke at and guess. But since it's in that Chromebook space, it's hard not to see it as a competitor to the MacBook Neo. And I'm looking at this and wondering who's the audience for a Google Book? I'm not sure. Because we have Chromebooks, now you have this Google Book thing, and you've laden it heavily with Gemini intelligence. And you have all these other products, all this other software that has Google and Book somewhere in the name. So who's going for this? I don't know the question this answers. I don't know how powerful it will be. AI tech bros who want to make silly pictures with no talent, but on the go. Right? Exactly. So again, I can't comment on how powerful the machine is, just based on the branding and where it's going to be in the current market positioning. I'm not sure how this places. So once there starts to be reviews, review units out of these, we'll talk about it again. But that was probably one of the large announcements out of the Android show, was the Google Book. And there were actual other Android announcements, because Android 17 is coming up. People who want to prompt, not write a screenplay at the coffee shop, right? Oh, I missed a comment from you, Rex, earlier. Come on, Cap, cooperate. Things you can say to a pop or to an adventure during Civil War. Nice. All right. So they did have some actual Android 17 announcements. And one of those announcements was 3D emoji. Yay. So now there'll be 3D emoji in your Android phone. Because why not? They're also going to have something called Rambler TTS, which is a speech-to-text feature powered once again by Gemini Intelligence. Aim to remove filler words, clarify what you're trying to say. And pause point, designed to help you use your phone more intentionally. Basically kind of a Pomodoro timer. And they just named it pause point. But here's the thing. Where's my cursor? It won't be super easy to turn off pause point entirely. You need to restart your phone to do so. So why are you... Wow, that's a lot. Another thing will be... Seriously, yeah, right? Another thing will be screen reactions. And you'll be able to record yourself and your screen simultaneously. So if you have a document or you have a video you're watching on your phone, you can place yourself in front of the video and do like a reaction video, or tell people what they need to change in a document and record yourself looking at things, scrolling through a thing. And so screen reactions, yeah, now you can just do that wherever. When you want to make a React video, you can do it on the go. And also, Google is kind of teaming up with Apple a little bit with something called Quick Share, which will have compatibility with AirDrop. So you can easily get your files to where you need them if you have, if you're a multiple OS household, you can more easily get files from your Android to your Mac and vice versa. Let's see here. Okay, that makes sense, but the having to reboot your phone, can think of times where I need to do something as an emergency, right? And yeah, instead of resetting your phone, like you say, JD, you didn't say tell your phone to not let you use certain apps after 10 p.m. And when you were out, all you had to do was long hold to say, let me use this thing, so you could message hubs. Why make it a phone reset? That seems overly complex. Also, there's going to be Instagram editing tools in Android natively. A bunch of security updates, as you would hope when Android updates itself. And also Google is overhauling Android Auto. Of course, they'll have more Gemini in it as well. But it's doing something called immersive navigation, which, according to the article on Engadget, is a 3D view that shows structures and terrain, along with details like road lanes, signs, and traffic lights. And because of Gemini, you'll be able to create custom widgets for Android Auto. As well. So that is all the news coming out of Android, the Android show. Next week is Google I/O, so we'll be talking about that and all the other things Google announces at their big show of the year. Next up is Apple. They have made announcements of updates for all of their OSs, OSI, OSEs. What's the multiple of OSs? Multiple for OS? I don't know. So there's updates with iOS, macOS, iPadOS, bringing them all to 26.5. This is courtesy of Ars Technica. And it, again, as this headline says here, or the subheading says, probably the last big updates we'll see before the next versions appear at Worldwide Developers Conference, which is Apple's big show of the year. And at WWDC, they'll probably be announcing all their OSs is to version 27. So a lot of this is in preparation for that. Security updates. As you can see here, watchOS is now at 26.5, tvOS, visionOS, like, all the OSs this is. And this one includes end-to-end encryption for RCS messaging, which is pretty awesome. There are Pride-themed wallpapers available. I think they are in the iPad OS. But if you update and have one of the various Apple devices with another one of the OSs, check it out, because they'll have some Pride-themed wallpapers you can add to, or you can make your wallpaper. That's how wallpapers work. And various bug fixes. Again, this is all to build up to the OS 27. And if you want more coverage on what they went over, there's that. And I believe WWDC is next week, so we'll have Google I/O and WWDC to talk about next week. So a lot of announcements will be coming up next week as well. Be another packed episode of stuff. Moving right along, we have the Insta 360 as a retro bundle out, which this looks cool. So the Insta 360 Go 3S is a kind of a pill-shaped camera that you can just attach, and it does the normal Insta 360 stuff, gives you that fisheye view and go outdoors and film stuff and everything. And it's a great looking device. But what they did was they added a thing to it to give you kind of a old school camera vibe. I'll show you here. So this is the Retro Bundle Special Edition. And the big thing is, so this is the camera here. But this thing that's surrounding the camera is the important bit to all this. So this top part that all the colors are blasting out of is a physical viewfinder. You look through this and you can see what you're shooting through here. There is not a digital viewfinder on this. Also, if you want to put this in front of you and do like a selfie, you can there's a cover for this top part that you put on to block the light, and then this front bit becomes a mirror, so you can see yourself as you position for a selfie view. And you can see all the bits here. They give you a battery pack, so you can, like, this holds a charge independently, but you can also add this battery pack to the back of the main unit. Well, this is also compatible with a variety of Insta 360 stands and all that, and I think it's just really charming. Plus, you transfer video via NFC from the camera to your phone. They have an app, and you can also use your phone as a digital viewfinder as well. If you don't want to use the retro viewfinder, you can. But there's a strap, a magnetic pendant, and we can see all the videos. There's the built-in mirror for selfies. Again, looking at the old school framing, reimagined, looking through the viewfinder top. And what they don't show here is that they covered up that top to get the mirror effect to work. Otherwise, the light's going to come down through the top and kind of interfere with reflection. That's just a little plastic cover you put over the top of that. There it is. Battery pack gives you 76-minute runtime. It's thin. We can see more of their promotional images. Single button operation, and then there's their quick preview with NFC. So I thought this was pretty neat. And if you want this bundle, it's available for $2.99 right now, which is a good deal because you're getting the camera and all this other stuff with it. Or they have a standard bundle, which has this digital flip screen. You're not getting the neat retro thingies, but you're getting a digital flip screen and you attach it to that. Or you can just buy the camera for, I don't know how much just the camera is. There's different colors, and I think there are different sizes, memory sizes too. And yeah, I just thought that was a neat thing. But yeah, let's see here. The Retro Bundle Special Edition, is that the one where they introduced Cameo, right? So yeah, if you're looking for a neat on-the-go camera, the Retro Bundle would be a pretty cool option if you can swing it. Or even if you want to spend a little less and just get the camera, that's a nice looking camera too. The video quality from it's pretty good. All right, moving along, we have Elgato. It will be Elgato Week next week, May 18th through the 24th. There's their main webpage. They're going to have their annual 7 days of savings. You can see the countdown timer right there. You can get an alert if you want to. So if you're looking for some Elgato gear, like, maybe you want a new Stream Deck because they have that new Stream Deck available. And wouldn't a new Stream Deck be cool to your already 5 versions of the Stream Deck that you have? I'm not talking for myself. So if you're looking for Elgato products, that'd be probably some good deals there. Okay, this week's big topic that just occurred yesterday is at Stream Elements. Now, if you're unfamiliar with Stream Elements, it is a website that provides a bunch of tools for streamers and can set up alerts and do all that stuff. And there was paid stuff, and there were activations that weren't great deals that you could do and things like that. And they've been around for a number of years now. However, they are looking for someone to buy them. They are shutting down. They're going to sunset its creators, their creator tools. So if you're looking for, if you need anything out of the Stream Elements website, you have 30 days to download everything from it. So get on that. Don't wait around. And they are currently looking for a buyer to try to keep them, to keep it going, or maybe the assets are just bought and we never hear the name Stream Elements again. Who knows what's going to happen? And if you want a lot more context from this, Zach Bussey does a really good job of going over this in a video he released just earlier today. So bookmark this video. Don't watch it now. Watch it after the stream. But there's Zach's overview of what happened from the rumor he first heard yesterday to the definite, oh, here's the thing. No, this is actually happening. That happened around like 2 a.m. Early this morning, last night, early morning in there. And this is interesting concerning, let me pull up, there was a thread, Blue Sky thread, and some people did have other options. So if you're curious at them, they're both kind of being developed right now. One's, they're independent creators. So one thing you sorry, I lost my place. So independent creators, one of them, you have to subscribe to their Ko-Fi for $5 to get beta access, which is fine. I mean, it's one person doing this stuff, right? But there were a couple messages around those things, so I'm just going to post link to those Blue Sky messages. The first one, which looks kind of neat, is called Slime 2 Desktop. And again, this is overlay widgets, and this will be overlay widgets and custom bot widgets. So it could be instead of using streamer bot type thing, you are using this. But there's their Blue Sky message, all about that one. And then Nick posted another one for us to look at over on GitHub called Clawfee, CLAWFFEE. And this one uses, what is he using? Yeah, it uses JavaScript snippets. And so if you're into programming those things, here's the Blue Sky message to that. Oops, one moment. Why didn't that? Copy link. Paste the link. There we go. Yeah, that post. Yeah, that's the right link. Okay. So thanks to Nick for bringing that to my attention. So if you're looking for Stream Elements replacements, maybe one of those will come up. And give me a moment here. We're going to move on to something else, but I'm going to find another article because I just realized that this one is behind a paywall. Let's see, what's the company name? Let's see if there's another. Yeah, okay. We'll use this article here. Just let me paste this into my document. And move this over. All right, so moving on. You can buy a mech if you have $650,000. Here's the article over on Fast Company. And as you can see, it's by Unitree Robotics, the GD01, 10 foot tall commercial grade mecha. Does a bipedal and a quadruped mode. There it is. There's a regular human standing next to it. You climb into it. It looks really awkward. I'll share the video link in a moment. But you can climb into it. The video shows it punching a brick wall and the wall just collapsing. And the video shows it walking around with the pilot going around. When it's on all fours mode is weird because the cage and everything, the pilot is looking up at the sky. And I don't know if they have a view of anything else, but they're basically on their backs looking up. And yeah, you can have kind of a exosuit mecha thing if you want. Oh, yeah, here they have a... Oops, let me... Can see the GIF here of it transforming. So there's the pilot's head. And the pilot's head is here looking up while it's moving forward. That wall had no mortar holding it together, right? Yeah, so don't like crab crawly things. Okay, we'll get off that. But they're targeting the GD01 at high-value markets, cultural tourism, private use, emergency rescue, and industrial special operations. But when people do it, it freaks you out. Yeah, okay. Yeah, understood. Yeah. So, oh, and they provide us another animated GIF of the thing. Let me shrink a window here so I can... So yeah, here's the pilot walking down. It looks hard to get into. They didn't make an easy thing. The guy in the video actually climbs in, puts his legs up over this rail on the side, and then slides into it. didn't even really have a ladder or anything, just kind of clambered up there. And got in, and yeah, it's of course going to be expensive. And then there's some other discussion from Fast Company about it. But yeah. So, you know, get your own mech at the low price of $650,000. You know, time to use in military police, 0, right? So here is those animated GIFs were all taken from this video here. Again, we'll put this video in a tab, watch it later after the show. I'd appreciate that. But there's the official video by Unitree Robotics. Oh, it weighs 1,102 pounds, so easily transportable to your location, clearly. And probably some different price points depending on what you get. Like this article by Fast Company puts the price at around $574,000. So, you know, some variety there. And start your own life in your own personal mech. Take it to the store. I have seen you pick up a city bus to save the people inside from Kaiju DC, so this is light for you. This is true. You have. Carry multiple 12 packs of soda in one trip, right? Just, you know, you need water for the softball game. Take your mech. All right. How does it do in water, I wonder? Ooh, I don't know. We'll have to... That'll require more testing. So someone spend a bunch of money, get this, and put it in water for us. We need to know how it works in big puddles and maybe a flooded area. That'd be great to know for science. And because it would be a cool video and get a lot of views. So, you know, it's worth the money. All right. And finally, a complete... This is a thing I have going on. I'm going to have a panel at Gen Con, y'all. So press buttons, make magic, how to produce a TTRPG stream will once again be at Gen Con. This time it's early. It's Friday at 8 a.m. That's 8 a.m. convention time. Or EDT, if you will. So there's the link to it. If you want to get tickets, you can add stuff to your wish list now. And then I think this Sunday is when everything goes live. And, you know, if you're really looking for an event, be at your machine Sunday around noon to click the thing. On tonight's top mecha, Rex goes toe-to-toe with the KX-140 in a foot race, and DC water tests the GD1. Congrats on the panel. Thanks. Yeah. I like doing it every year. And this might be, I don't know, my 7th year of doing this. And probably around the 12th time I've run this panel at a convention, because I've run it at other conventions. So yeah, if you want to learn all about producing a TTRPG stream, an actual play, come see the panel. We'll be talking about it. We'll be talking about live versus recorded as well. So something a little new this year, throwing in the recorded bit. Usually I just go over, okay, the show is live, what are you going to do? But gonna add a little more to it this year. So if you or anyone you know is interested in that, please hit that link, grab a ticket. Be wonderful to see you there. And I'll be the one looking kind of like this. All right, that wraps it up for Tech Friday this week. If you're watching over on YouTube, on the VOD, thank you for watching. And come back next week for another episode of Tech Friday. And check out the previous videos over there. And subscribe to my channel there. Do the things. That'd be great. See you next week. Hold for edit. Okay. And if you're watching live, stay tuned. We'll talk about a bunch of other things. And it's kind of open season at this point as we relax, get into our weekends, take a deep breath, stretch, hydrate, all that stuff. We'll take a 5-minute break. I'm going to run some ads to keep pre-rolls away. And we'll be right back with more of Tech Friday. Stay tuned. All right, welcome back in, everybody. How y'all doing? Good to see you. Thanks for staying tuned through the break. We'll take a look at some news here. We're pretty much open on whatever you would like to talk about. Bonus points for it relating to tech or TTRPGs. Anything we talked about. But the Google book thing is just kind of wild. I saw some videos about it, and while we don't know a ton about it, one of the question I had and a few other people had is who is this for? And we're not exactly sure what this is solving. The when the MacBook Neo came out, there was a lot of good marketing around it. It made sense, right? It position, and then review units went out and people had positive feedback with it. But this current announcement just kind of adds to confusion over Google products having similarly named things. Like, what were they thinking? And again, don't know what the hardware internals will be. Like I said, could be a perfectly capable laptop, but a lot of it is just branding confusion. Besides naming, there's the idea of running your prompts locally for smaller data sets so they can save on the cost of tokens. Yeah, there's that too. I can see where that would be. Yeah, that's a good idea. Let's pull up some TTRPG stuff. And the naming, oof, they needed better marketing. Yeah, right? It's just... Oh, right. There's that one thing that happened in the TTRPG space we can talk about. Yeah, I'll save that for later. The company that did the weird AI profiles of people. Yeah, we'll kind of save that for a couple minutes. I don't want to talk about that right yet. See, they are awful people. Boo them. Yeah. Yep. Let's see. Not too much there. We talked about that last week. Okay. That's nothing new there. See, we talked about the D&D drop thing last week. I don't think we need to do that again. Let's see here. We talked about that last week too. All right, one more TTRPG website to look at to see if they have any news things. All right, I gotta take care of something real quick, and then we'll get into the awful people thing. If thing loads, why is thing not loading? Thing, please load. Do. See, have you seen Storyline, Obsidian plugin for deeper writing, novels, complex plots, etc.? Could see using this for TTRPGs, but it's the antithesis of your vault. Yeah, I think I did see that. Let me pull that up a second here. Yeah, I can see this where this would be like a kind of like a Scrivener type thing, except for Obsidian. Oh, there's a lot to this too. So yeah, if you're doing a big long-term project like a novel or something and you want to use Obsidian to do it, this Storyline plugin might not be a bad idea. But if you're doing a TTRPG campaign, you should definitely use my thing. !vault in chat. And, just download that and set it up as a vault in Obsidian. And you'll be all set to share your information with your players as well. And that's another thing I'm trying to encourage. We're going to have kitty time. I'll talk about what I want to talk about in a minute. But kitty time is important. Hi. There, no, here. Come here. We gotta have kitty time. JD Lady says hi. Rex says kitty. Okay, okay, okay. All right, bye. All right, so one thing I'm trying to encourage with my vault is to share the information with your players as well. A lot of times I see these vaults and other setups are, these worlds, lots of folders, lots of things that probably don't need all that structure. That's why I use my vault. But also a place to go, here's what my players know. And so you have a record of what you shared with your players, and they can access it as well. And so that was another thing I was trying to do, is get the information out of kind of that DM protected space and have players more involved, and so that you can create a constantly updating resource for your players to go to and look at. Jory, hi, welcome on in. Good to see ya. Glad you're here. Just talking about my TTRPG campaign vault. We are in the relax period of the weekend, and Kitty's meowing a lot. Let me go see what's going on. I'll be right back. Chair will be with you for a moment, so have some good discussions. Be right back. What's wrong, Hannah? All right, Kitty's okay. She's just decided to meow for a lot for some reason. Now, a few words of wisdom from the Invisible Man, right? All right, we're going to briefly talk about the terrible people in the TTRPG space this week. A group called Four Pillar Games made an AI-generated slop website that not only coalesced headings of articles from various other websites, which they didn't reach out to any of them and get permission to do this. They also put up AI-generated images of like the main people in the space that influence TTRPGs, and have AI bios, and got zero, from our understanding, got zero permission. Plus the AI thing happening. So just awful all the way around. Just so everyone knows that was a thing happening. If you want to, and the AI profiles just look weird too, but if you want to read about it, here's an article on Eon World from it, about it, so You can read up there. Oh, okay. There's a slight update to this, in that two of the people that were heading this up left, resigned, and disassociated themselves from Four Pillars, since all this was done without neither of us signing off, and possibly without Reese's final approval, which is another person that was at the head. And that's all I have to say at this time. Wow. It's okay. Deeper, the story gets a little deeper. Yeah. Kitty. What? Just a second. Be right back again. Right. And now a brief profile of the Invisible Man. Right. So yeah, if you want information about it, you can go there. I don't really want to talk too much more about it, but there is all the things. No, what do you guys say about anything? Do all right. So if you do have anything you want to discuss, please put it in chat. Anything tech, TTRPG related, or stationary related. We haven't really talked about stationary things yet today. So if you have any new pens, notebooks, or just something you saw that looked pretty cool, we can talk about stationary things too. Crossing time. Excited to see what Zero does with notebook cover ideas. Yeah, me too. So, friend Zero is doing a lot of leatherwork things, and one of the things he'll be working on in the near future are leather covers for little notebooks, like field notes guides. And I think he said A5 was the other side. So looking forward to see what he comes up with for all of those. That'll be fascinating. All right. leaving a lurk. Thank you. Appreciate it. Oh yeah, we have the Motorola Razr Fold review. There's reviews of that out. We talked about that previous Tech Fridays, when it was announced originally, things like that. And it looks cool, but like all foldables, it's really expensive. And if you want all the specs and everything on it, Ars Technica has an article. To yeah, just looking for any news that came up since I started Tech Friday. So Summer Games Done Quick returns July, and they have a schedule out already. This over on Engadget. I do enjoy watching speed runs. And Games Done Quick is a pretty good charity event. Starts July 5th on Twitch and YouTube. So watch it there. Oh yeah, I had, speaking of YouTube, I had some thoughts regarding streaming and things like that, but I'll save those. Let's see, we already talked about the Google book. Oh, okay, this is amazing. The original Doom soundtrack is officially in the Library of Congress. How neat is that? Heck yeah. Yeah. All right, that's pretty awesome. Okay, a couple other things on Engadget to just point out. Let's see. Photos of an unreleased Microsoft Xbox Cloud gaming controller have leaked online. Apparently it's small. But if you want to take a look at it, that's there. I gotta take another drink. And then in a where'd that go? There's another article. If I can find it, that'd be great. Actually, we'll save that for next week if it comes up. It's kind of a rumory thing, and rather talk about things that we know for sure. Mhm. All right. Then a bunch of the stuff we talked about last week. Okay. One more site to look at here. Oh, they're talking about the same thing. Okay. Ah, man. I don't know if I want to. It's just one report, though. Okay, yeah, we'll hold off until next week on that. There's not enough details for me to talk about it. When doubt, wait, no journalist, but that is just good policy, right? All right. So, the thing I want to talk about kind of relates to when I was talking earlier about. Excuse me, I gotta get some water. Let me fill up my glass here. Just be right back again. All right. So, another thing I want to mention was, where is my, I can't even find my own link right now. Where is it? Something else I just kind of wanted to talk about while we're here and relaxing a bit. And kind of around the idea of my panel that'll be at Gen Con. Again, go to that link, and if you're going to be at Gen Con, sign up for my panel. Do the things. Add it to your wish list. And then I think Sunday is when you scramble to get to try to fulfill your wish list. So add my panel. Come see me. It'll be great. But what I'm doing this year, which is slightly different than when I usually talk about producing a TTRPG actual play stream, is I'm going to add more to when it isn't a live thing on Twitch, when it's also a recorded thing. And I could have done this before too, but I think now's a good time for it because there's kind of this shift going on in streaming, and it seems like, live streaming isn't quite as popular as it was, and recorded content getting more of a push. So, if you record your play, or if you live stream your actual play and then edit it for later and put it up on YouTube. And so kind of talk about some of those ideas as well. Because usually I just cover, you're doing it live, but I think going also taking the time to mention what's similar between live and recorded will be useful, because there seems to be kind of a directional shift in what people are watching on YouTube and live streams, and how popular shorts are or aren't depending on who you ask. And various things like that. So I think that will be worth looking at. And other things I'm considering. So it's, to give you kind of a preview here, you set up time, and generally we do a live play 2 hours, pretty good, unless you're Critical Role. But Critical Role, is pre-recording, and then they give you a version of the thing, and those are 4 or 5 hours long. But Critical Role is the outlier. We all know this by now. But having a way to edit down your content and planning for a recorded stream, you're still going to want to, have a record time, get everyone in, a half hour before that record time. But if something goes wrong, maybe you add a little more to the record time, maybe an extra half hour or so. Because if something goes wrong, you can pause, have them go back, make a note of it. If you have a tech problem or someone just drops, you can stop, correct for it, and go on. But you don't want to wait too long, because again, your players are still there. And if you've convinced some people to do it for free, that's you're already asking them for about 2 hours or more of their time. And so adding to that, but there are benefits to recording, and then there's a certain energy to a live production that you don't get with recording, and then there's an even different energy when you're performing in front of an audience, right? So while you can pause for things that go wrong and everything, you still want to keep things flowing and relatively on time. So you're not going to change a whole lot from an actual live show, but you can. Hannah, what is going on today? Kitty. Hi. Well, now what? What are you doing? I don't know what's going on with Hannah. All right. Well, if you're down here, I got you up again. You got to be on camera again. It's my kitty Hannah. Yeah. Oh, she's purring. Okay, okay, I'll put you down. Give me a moment. There you go. On, huh? I don't know. She's been wanting to be around me a lot lately, like more than usual. Okay, you gonna just flop there, huh? All right, just flop there then. You good there? Okay. So yeah, yeah, recording versus live TTRPG stuff, and also how. Sorry, I gotta check a thing. Gotta check another thing. Okay, things have been checked. Excellent. But yeah, just a difference between recording and live, and also what I'm thinking about doing when I start the solo uh, TTRPG adventures is recording them live with all of you and then editing them for later thing. And I might create another channel on YouTube, and they'll be more focused on just the TTRPG stuff. But for that, for the solo TTRPG journey as well. So more recorded content. If you come here live during the stream, you'll probably see a couple hours worth of material that'll cut down. So I'll have to think about things like breaks and where a good stopping point would be for an episode, say. Or if I just go for a while and then go, okay, need to stop here and continue on, break it up that way. Also, another tip, if you're recording a show and you're editing them down and everything like that, there's an idea that you should have 3 in the can, as they call it. So 3 episodes ready to go. And you put them out on your regular release schedule once a week, whatever that it is, so that if something happens, you still have content going up weekly. It gives you a little bit of lead time to go through. And so the advice is usually have 3 ready to go. So that's completely ready to go. That's not, oh, this needs, some more editing work or whatever. That's just, they're done. They're going up. So what will probably happen with the solo TTRPG stuff is that you'll come to the live stream. I'll record some for a while, and then we'll do that for a few weeks, and then I'll edit it down. And once I have 3 episodes ready to go, I'll start posting them on the YouTube channel. But you'll still be able to catch the live stream because I'm going to keep the live streams all to my regular YouTube channel like I normally do. So if you want to see any of it right away, you can go back and do that. But I think with having a new channel, because I was thinking of this as part of that newsletter idea I talked about, and so I can combine that branding with the newsletter branding and kind of have it all in one roof, and put most of my TTRPG stuff over on this other channel. But Tech Fridays will still be here and on my normal YouTube channel and everything like that. But I think I'm at a point where I have a lot of content up, and some division of it, more than just a playlist, will probably be useful. Those are my current thoughts on that. And again, when I get to the solo RPG stuff, we're going to start off with The Librarian's Apprentice. So if you want to, do this along with me or whatever, free to come around, but that's what we're going to do. And again, the solo TTRPG, solo TTRPG thing, the idea is I create a character, and I'd like to do the character creation with all of you, and we sort of have this character with us in our minds as we're going through the role-playing games and try to figure out how this particular character that I've created for this would respond to things, and having a thought process that is other than what I would think. And so having a consistent character to have a voice that carries out through all of these is something I want to do as well. So that'll be coming up. There's some cleaning and other things I have to do around my office area here before we get into this. But I'm really looking forward to this. Librarian's Apprentice. Pick it up at your FLGS. And so I have a setup all figured out in my head of how it's going to be structured, where things are going to be on screen. And then I'm going to have an Obsidian vault where I record all the details of it, everything that's drawn, the choices made, the paths taken, and all that. So there'll be that record of it as well for myself, and I think I'll release it to everybody after I get the episodes edited, and once the edited episodes start coming out, I'll also take that document of what happened and place that online as well. So that should be hopefully a fun and different experience. So look for that in probably a few months or the end of the year. Like I said, I have to do some cleaning around here. I want to set up my writer station, and I need to organize my craft area, everything. I just need to reduce some of the clutter around here, and then get the camera set up just how I want it, because that'll be a different setup than this stream or the craft day stream. All right. Let's see here. And once again, I have a TTRPG campaign vault for use with Obsidian. ! Vault will bring up the link. That takes you to my GitHub page where you can download it for free. There's a folder structure you can copy, and then since all the files are in Markdown, if you don't use Obsidian, you can open the files in any text editor you want. I recommend using Obsidian. You know, there's a whole bunch of instructions and a link to a video on YouTube if you want kind of a guided tour of everything. So go check all of that out. I'd appreciate it. All right, let's see who's on. We can send a raid over to. Go have some supper. Maybe watch a few bad movies. See who is on the list. Let's see. I haven't rated Fawn in games in a while, so we'll take ourselves over there, say hello. Fawn is running Palia. So we'll go over there, say hi to Fawn. I will be back on Monday with more Bravely Default. And once again, part of Team Cypher, we're running a St. Jude charity thing. I've lost words at this point, but go to that link and donate to St. Jude. It's an excellent cause. It's all part of the collective Team Cypher effort to donate to St. Jude. So go there, donate, be excellent. we're going to go say hi to Fun and Games. Please be kind to yourself. Be kind to each other. Thank you all for being here. And I will see you next week. Have a great weekend. Stay tuned for the raid. Bye.